The garment industry is one of the biggest industries in the world. Depending on the source, between 100 and 150 billion items of clothing are being produced each year. The garment industry consumes a lot of resources, being the second largest consumer of water in the world. But the majority of the consumed garments are not being worn. For every 5 clothing pieces that are produced, 3 pieces get disposed of or are burned. According to a survey from Greenpeace Germany, around 40% of the garments in a closet are never or rarely worn. Many people donate their clothes in goodwill, but around 89% of all donations end in landfills or get burned. Currently, textile waste is piling up in the global south and is even visible from space. So why are so many clothes being thrown out and are not worn by the consumers? Well, it's mainly an issue of bad fitting. Of all products which are sold online in Germany, it is garments which do not fit that are mostly returned by consumers. Many of them will never be sold again and be destroyed because it is too expensive to sort them out and mend them for the next customer. Okay, so most clothes are being returned or thrown away because they do not fit, but why are we producing clothes that don't fit anyone? We'd like you to meet Anke Beutel, a garment engineer who we met through the Fashion Revolution Network. Anke has been developing garment patterns for fashion brands for more than 20 years and has noticed that clothes are rarely made with a person's real body in mind. Fashion brands prioritize saving costs and short-term aesthetic decisions and are more preoccupied with the clothing looking good on a hanger rather than making sure that the clothes actually fit the people that are supposed to buy them. Anke's approach is different.
Hi, I'm Anke. I'm a garment engineer and I have been working for the garment industry since almost or a bit more than 20 years now.
And can you tell us a bit more about your research project?
Yeah, so as I experienced, so the industry is not product focused in my opinion and is really offering brand new trash most of the time. And that causes piles of waste. We know the pictures from Ghana, Tanzania, or Atacama Desert, and so on. Yeah, so this is my idea of changing the industry. So my bigger vision is to keep the planetary boundaries within the garment industry. I'm fully aware that the garment industry will always use resources. I mean, we always need fabric and fibers for that. But in my daily experience or daily job life, I experienced that the decision makers were more focused on aesthetics and also the price than on the product itself. And so this leads obviously to a massive load of trash. It piles up in Ghana, in Tanzania, and in many places of the world. And I want, with my work, I want to reduce that. I want people to maintain their garments. I want people to love their garments, to really like their garments, wear them because they are comfortable and not, what I see on the streets is people are wearing garments that don't fit. They are uncomfortable, they look like they must hurt. And this is what I want to change, or what I want to raise awareness about.
Could you tell us, just like for people who don't know what a garment engineer does, what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm specialized in pattern cutting. So I really work with the shape of a body. And because if you have a look, it's a three-dimensional, or also my body is three-dimensional. We are not two-dimensional beings. And it's not so easy, but also very exciting to create the shape for that. When I think about the shape of a garment or the pattern of a garment, you can imagine a t-shirt and it has a front part and a sleeve and a back part. And so all these parts are not simply like a rectangular, it's polygons with curves in it and also slants. And if you imagine to send this information also to a factory, like simply measurements, this is a big problem of the industry, just working with measurement charts. It doesn't reflect the polygon because you only have a few numbers, and yeah, you get different shapes from these numbers. And of course, they will always fit differently on a body.
Can you tell us a bit about what exactly is bothering you within the product development processes in fashion?
Yeah, so the main decision makers, they always have the price in mind, which of course is understandable, but if you want to sell a product, you also need to keep the product in mind and not make it as cheap as possible, and in the end it's trash. I want to read you a paragraph or one sentence from the EU textile strategy, which I think shows exactly the problem. In factories, 25 to 40% of all fabrics used is either leftover or becomes waste. But what if 100% is waste?
Can you explain that to us a bit more? Why is it 100%?
Yeah, so I think many products, many garments that are sold outside don't fit a body. And so they are only made to look like a garment, like a t-shirt, but the patterns have different shapes. So if you imagine the factories, they get measurement charts with, for example, the advice of a bust girth, and then it's like in 3 different factories. One factory will provide, to make it simple, a circle. One factory will provide a square, but I asked for a triangle. They all measure the same, but it's different shapes. And as you can see, maybe, so I'm working with real body dummies. So they are created through body scans, and it's an average of the German bodies. And most of the industry, they don't even have their target group body measurements, and also don't use, like, for example, size set checkups if they have a size range in their collection from, let's say, size 34 to size 50 maybe for women. They do prototypes in size 36, and maybe they request a size set, but they never check it, because there is always an excuse that they don't have a model. Yeah. So my task was basically to improve the fit, but also to follow the orders from, for example, buyers. They were actually always the decision makers. For example, I remember a blazer I had to improve, but in the end the price was too expensive, so the buyer decided to remove the fusing. And I think everyone who knows a bit of garments knows that fusing is really mandatory for a blazer to keep the shape and everything. So I really created trash many times.
Together with Anke, we want to showcase the importance of well-made and well-fitting clothes as a driver for the well-being of people and the planet. We would all be much happier and probably richer if the clothes we bought actually fit us. This would have a highly positive psychological effect too, as we wouldn't feel the pressure of fitting to a predefined body ideal, and we would feel more comfortable in the clothes that we wear. The environment that we live in would benefit from better fashion products too, as there would be less waste, less microplastics, less water usage, and less CO2 emissions. This would also benefit the economy. Fashion companies are producing high amounts of waste, which they could avoid and save a lot of money and resources by producing better clothes. With all of this in mind, we invite you to reflect on what you have learned so far and think of small ways you could contribute to reduce fashion waste in your own life.